We need a little bit of language to talk about the parts of an expression. Now, in general, any part of a sub-expression is called a sub-expression. Now, sub-expressions are just parts that could be evaluated separately. So, for example, in the expression 3x squared minus 5 times x minus 7 plus 24. Some examples of sub-expressions are 3x squared minus 5, the number 24. We could look even further inside and talk about 3x squared, but not, for example, minus 5, close parenthesis, open parenthesis, x minus, because there's not enough information to evaluate. All right. There are two different ways that sub-expressions can be put together. They can be put together with multiplication or with addition. When the sub-expressions are put together with addition, each sub-expression is called a term. So, for example, the large expression we saw above has two terms. The first one, which is very complicated, and the second one, which is 24. If we look at just the 3x squared minus 5, this also has two terms, 3x squared and negative 5. Where did the negative come from? Well, remember that terms are put together with addition. So we would have to think of 3x squared minus 5 as 3x squared plus negative 5. We should always think of subtraction as adding the opposite, and then the negative sign is actually part of that term. Sub-expressions can be put together with addition. They can also be put together with multiplication. When sub-expressions are put together with multiplication, the sub-expressions themselves are called factors. So, for example, if we look at 3x squared minus 5 times x minus 7, this has two factors, namely 3x squared minus 5 and x minus 7. If we look at just the term 3x squared, we can think of that as having two factors, namely 3 and x squared. Or, notice that x squared is x times x, namely 3 and x and another x. Whether we want to think about x squared as just one factor, or each x as separate, depends on what we want to do with this. Our key goal with factors is not going to be to count them, but to determine whether or not any particular thing is a factor. So we can say that 3x and x squared are all factors of 3x squared.